2019 was a year of firsts for Liberty. It was the first season under brand new head coach Hugh Freeze. The Flames made their first ever bowl game and won their first ever bowl game in their first year of eligibility. But now with the loss of some big time starters, can the Flames make Freeze's second year better than the first? Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert, the best kept secret in all of college football. Today, bringing you our 2020 Liberty Flames college football predictions. As always, make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share our videos, as well as check out everything down in the description below, where you can get exclusive content on our website, thegridironexpert.com, and follow us on all of our social media pages over on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So it truly was a very special and historic season for Liberty in 2019. Hugh Freeze steps in and leads the Flames to an 8-5 record, including a Cure Bowl victory over Georgia Southern. But now they lose some very big pieces, mostly on the offensive side of the ball. They lose their star quarterback, Stephen Buckshot Calvert, the record-setting QB for the Flames, and his top wide receiver, and Antonio Ganda-Golden. That duo led Liberty to 32.8 points per game in 2019. And if you're an outsider looking in, you would say, oh, they lose their top wide receiver, they lose their star quarterback, they're probably going to take a step back offensively. The crazy thing is they might not, because sitting right behind Stephen Calvert was the Auburn transfer quarterback Malik Willis. He redshirted last year, now comes in to take the starting role for the Flames, and he is the perfect dual-threat quarterback to fit into the RPO offense that Hugh Freeze wants to run. He fits this mold maybe even better than Stephen Calvert. They do return a very experienced wide receiver core, and their running back, Joshua Mack, returns after rushing for over 750 yards last year and averaging 5.8 yards per carry. So forget everything you've heard about Liberty maybe taking a step back offensively. They could be even better, possibly, than they were in 2019. The only thing that has to slightly improve for the Flames is maybe their defense. They also returned 5 starters but allowed 28.1 points per game last year. So they do need to see a little bit of improvement across the board, although their defensive line is probably going to be one of their strengths, led by Trayshawn Clark, who had 4.5 sacks last year, and a Liberty defensive line that was averaging a sack nearly every 12 pass attempts. That was good for in the top 20 in the nation when it came to sacks. Their secondary will be led by Javon Scruggs, and that itself will also be a slight strength for the Flames this year. So Hugh Freeze, when you look at it, year 2, he's got the talent, he's got the pieces to fit the schemes that he wants to run, and all things considered, the schedule is not that bad. They could very well win 6 or 7 games and return to the postseason. They kick off 2020 with a road game at Virginia Tech. This game's certainly not going to be easy for the Hokies, guys, especially now they are dealing with life without Bud Foster. This will be the first game in a very, very long time we have not seen Bud Foster on the sidelines as defensive coordinator for Virginia Tech. So you do wonder, maybe will there be some growing pains? Yes, they returned 19 starters, guys. They're one of the most experienced teams in the country. But could Liberty in there, Malik Willis, could they come into Lane Stadium and rack up some points and maybe give the Hokies a run for their money, make it close into the fourth quarter? I think this game is very, very close for about a half. Now I think Virginia Tech makes some big halftime adjustments, pulls away here, and Liberty falls on the road in Blacksburg, certainly to be expected. They return home, they play North Carolina A&T, we give them a win here, and then they travel to Western Kentucky. Now this is a game, guys, that Liberty cannot afford to overlook, and this is actually a sneaky good game on their schedule. I think if you like offense, this is probably going to be the game for you, because I think you're going to see a lot of points scored in this one. Western Kentucky surprised everybody last year in year 1 under Tyson Helton, going 9-4. Finished the season 9-4. That included a huge win over Arkansas out of the SEC. Yes, a terrible Arkansas team at that, but they annihilated them in Fayetteville. They now return their running back Gage Walker, who had over 1,200 yards last year. You look at Liberty's defense, guys. We said they have to improve a little bit. Their run defense has got to improve. They allowed 189.7 rushing yards per game. And we know that early on, with Western Kentucky having quarterback questions, they're probably going to be trying to pound the rock as much as they can with Walker. So the Liberty defense, rushing defense specifically, is going to be the key in this one. And I think they falter, especially with the game being on the road. Got the Flames losing this one to a good Western Kentucky team. Certainly Conference USA title contenders in 2020. They return home to take on Florida International, led by Butch Davis, who's done a really great job of rejuvenating this fan base and rejuvenating this Panthers program. But this is a Florida International squad, guys, that has one key loss, and that is their quarterback, James Morgan, who was one of the better QBs in the country last year. Statistically, you just didn't hear about him. He's battled injuries over the course of his career, but he was a sneaky good quarterback out of the Conference USA. But now he's gone, and the Panthers only returned 3 starters offensively and 6 defensively. So you look at this game here, this could, like Western Kentucky, be a shootout, but who has the edge offensively? And that's going to be Liberty. They have home field advantage. I like their offense a little bit better. Florida International is going through too many key pieces that they have to fill up offensively here. It's still early on in the season. So Liberty, after the month of September, is 2-2. That's pretty dang respectable if you ask me. Coming into October, they take on Bowling Green, guys. Bowling Green on the road. Now, you know me. I'm a stickler for home field advantage. I believe in home field advantage. Whether there are fans in the stands or not this year, I still think you're going to have slight advantages if you are the home team. But Bowling Green is not going to have that. Bowling Green is not going to have that. They went 3-9 last year. Their closest loss of those 9 games was 18 points. 18 points was their smallest margin of loss. They went 3-9. They're still going through a major rebuilding year and their second year under Scott Loeffler. So Liberty goes on the road and I think wins fairly easily against Bowling Green. So they're 3-2, and let's make them 4-2 here with a win over ULM. Louisiana Monroe out of the Sun Belt. They went 5-7 last year, but like many of the teams Liberty is going to have to face, like Western Kentucky, Florida International, now ULM and a few others down the road, Louisiana Monroe has to replace their quarterback. They have to replace the second leading passer in program history in Caleb Evans. And this, to me, is a bigger game for Louisiana Monroe than it is for Liberty because the Warhawks have a chance to go bowling this year if they can correct some things offensively. But they really have to correct their things defensively. We talked so much about the RPO offense for Hugh Freeze this year. Key stat, Louisiana Monroe allowed 38.7 points per game last year. That's bad enough. Even worse, they allowed 252.7 rushing yards per game last year. Expect Malik Willis and Joshua Mack to have a field day on the ground. I don't think the Warhawks defense is ready for this type of offense, especially on the road for them. So Liberty strings together 3 straight victories here. Started off 2-2, 3-2, 4-2. They then go on the road to Syracuse, a team they fell to 24-0 at home last year in the season opener. Now the key for Syracuse this year is their offensive line. And we said Liberty's got a pretty strong pass rush, guys, that if Syracuse hasn't fixed their offensive line problems, then Liberty could finally maybe score some points against this Syracuse defense, who I do think will take a step back this year, and maybe make this game a little bit closer than they want. But I do think the offensive line is fixed just slightly. I do think Tommy DeVito has a big year if he can stay healthy. The Syracuse defense, yes, is inexperienced, only 4 returning starters, but I think Dino Babers and his squad progress every single week. If this game was earlier in the season, you might lean slightly towards Liberty's way, but it's later on in the season in the Carrier Dome. I like Liberty losing this game to the Orange. And I like them falling to Southern Miss as well, also out of the Conference USA. A Southern Miss team, guys, that went 7-6 last year and has a very, very good quarterback, very underrated quarterback in Jack Abraham, who led the 19th ranked passing offense in the country last year. The Eagles, down in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, had a top 20 passing attack in the country last year, and their defense, guys, returned 7 starters that had 39 sacks and had the 18th ranked rushing defense in the country. So for a 7-6 record, Southern Miss was a little bit better than I think their record indicated. Now, I think Jay Hobson has his squad ready to go. this year. They're Conference USA title contenders, in my opinion. And even though it is at Liberty, I think the Golden Eagles do come in and snag a win. So they've won 3 straight games. They lose 2 straight games. They then go on the road to UConn. And this is basically like getting 2 bye weeks in a row, guys. They go on the road to a UConn team that is now a new member of the Independents. Something to note, they moved from the American Athletic to becoming an independent for the first time since 2003. But this is still a Huskies program that's going through major rebuilds and just major shaping up. They allowed 40.5 points per game last year. They don't know who their quarterback's going to be. Randy Edsall has a lot of stuff he's got to correct. So even though this is on the road for Liberty, they win this game. They get a real bye week, and then they beat Western Carolina very handily as well. So really, when you look at this, Liberty almost benefits from 3 straight bye weeks. Yes, they have to play 2 football games, but 2 of those football games that we have projected to be wins should come relatively easy for the Flames. So back-to-back losses, back-to-back wins. They now have 6 wins, guys. They have now hit that threshold of getting 6 wins. They need 7. They played NCAA, they played Western Carolina. So when you play those 2 FCS programs, you've got to be able to get 7 wins to get there, to get to the postseason. Fortunately, their 7th win will not come on the road against North Carolina State, a team that went 4-8 last year under Dave Doeren. We do believe the Wolfpack will take a step forwards ever so slightly in 2020, especially on the offensive side of the ball, led by a great rushing duo in Jordan Houston and Bam Knight. The games on the road, NC State certainly going to be fighting for bowl eligibility, especially this late in the season. Liberty does lose this game, but clinches their 7th win with a win over UMass. And I think, like the UConn game, that's to be expected over their fellow independent here. A UMass team that Liberty defeated 63-21 in 2019. A UMass team that had the worst defense in the country in every single category except for one, and that was their passing defense, which ranked 109th. Not that much better. But if you're looking for silver linings and for Walt Bell's squad, there you go. But Liberty should take easy care of UMass here. They know they need that 7th win. They get it. And so for the 2nd straight year, guys, Liberty is going bowling. Liberty does win 7 games in the regular season. And for the 2nd straight year, Hugh Freeze and his squad could clinch an 8-win season. And that is truly, truly remarkable. Last year was their first year of eligibility to go bowling. They did it, and they won it. And there's a very good chance they can do it all over again in 2020. So guys, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, and share our videos, as well as check out everything down in the descriptions below, where you can follow us on our social media pages, as well as check out our website, thegridironexpert.com. And once again, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.